Yo, bro, music's been outlawed throughout the entire world.
Yeah, who's gonna stop me? I gotta focus for a test tomorrow anyways. What would you do if music was outlawed throughout the entire world? And I don't mean just playing it out loud. I mean if you use your headphones or even create some form of rhythm, you're donezo. For me, it'd probably be hell. I'm not sure how many of you can relate, but if I'm stuck doing some sort of work, I need music to bail me out. Unbeatable tackles this narrative by ironically being a rhythm game and thrusting you, the player, into a world with no knowledge. In fact, when you initially play the game, you don't even know that music is outlawed. You have to find out for yourself, but the game knows you're lost and confused. It wants you to feel that way. Admittedly, the confusion was taken to extreme at some points. However, in the overall scheme of things, your confusion will cause curiosity. That curiosity fuels the want to understand the meaning behind the game, this new world you're now a part of. And the first thing you notice in this new world is its style. The characters are vibrant. Each thing has something unique about them. Different hair, different voices, different clothes. They sometimes don't fit into the landscape they're a part of. One second you're in a cartoony field, the next you're in a 3D looking prison cage, all with this retro-y feel. The game wants to keep you on your toes. We explore the world through Beat's eyes, the main character. A character who was thrusted into this world with no memories of the past. She's basically us, and everything Beat questions, we question. You can tell the developers designed her this way. It immerses us into the new world. But Beat retains her own personality. She has her own past, and sometimes it shows. Beat can sometimes be oblivious in the way of how she treats others. Where the viewer might notice that Beat said something harsh or ignored something important, they end up feeling accountable for Beat's actions, even if we weren't trying to do it. And this happens occasionally throughout the story. However, it's a human aspect to her. This happens in real life. However, like a normal person, Beat takes some time to learn from her actions, affecting the people who care for her, like her partner in crime, Quaver, a 12-year-old. Huh?
Yeah, even though we're in a weird new world now, 12-year-olds committing crimes is actually pretty unusual. But Quaver doesn't care. She sees Beat, rather Beat's instrument, and is intrigued by its illegal allure. Which, isn't crazy for a 12-year-old. But all good things must come to an end, and the two get thrown in prison for highway terrorism. The end. Just kidding. Two random characters, who aren't actually random, you can tell that they'd be important to the plot later, are framed instead. And do you remember how earlier I said that Beat wouldn't feel accountable for her actions? Well, it's Quaver, the 12-year-old, who volunteers Beat to go with her to break them out, impel down style. But Beat's lack of accountability affects the relationships with the two random people she's breaking out, Treble and Clef. While Quaver can communicate with them just fine, Beat is struggling to even communicate with them, which makes it hard for the squad to become a band. What? Yeah. It was Quaver's idea to form a band, and it sucked down a 12-year-old that kind of just broke into prison to break people out. But it's also partly because before music got outlawed, it was their passion, and they lost a part of themselves after it got taken from them. So the group decides to become a band, a way to revolt against essentially the world government of the game. And in doing so, they actually become big, not only because they are essentially committing a form of terrorism, at least by the game standards, but because the music is really good. In Unbeatable, the music complements the visuals of the game. Earlier I stated that there was a retro air to it, but the music seals the deal. You're practically thrusted back in the late 90s and early 2000s. I became nostalgic for an era I wasn't even a part of. But it's not even that. The developers understood the depth of the music. They use the music to change your mood. One second the police are chasing you, and there's a tense beat going. The next, there's a long solo emphasizing how lost we feel. But music is more than just music. It's an outlet for creativity, and without it, a lot of the world has just lost the passion for what they care about. A painting can't get me out of bed when I'm feeling like buns, but put on some music, and maybe I'll tackle this next YouTube video instead of rotting all day. In fact, the music is so good, I manipulate my emotions with it.
I'm feeling tired because I just woke up.
Boop. Unbeatable has a song to wake me up. You can feel how much the developers cared about the game because every aspect of it was tailored to a pro in their field. They had over 30 devs working on this project, and I don't think any of them were ex-Ubisoft devs. So now you might be asking, Leg, you've been glazing this game, is there anything you don't like? And to you, my dear viewer, I would have to say, Unbeatable's progression is exponential. If I had to describe it, it would be like every breathing moment. If you've never heard of that song, then I'll describe the game like starving yourself for a day, then waiting an eternity at a restaurant, followed by the main appetizers taking a while, and then finally being able to indulge in the main course. This is due to the developers laying down the groundwork for the story later on. And I will admit, the story pays off, but the groundwork requires understanding where their characters come from. Part of Unbeatable's allure is the fact that although you are thrust into an unknown world, by progressing the game, you explore it. In our case, we, Beat, have to start off by understanding those near us. For example, Treble and Clef. The two are twins, yet they are complete opposites in terms of personality. Where Clef can be hot-headed and rash, Treble is a ginormous introvert. But Clef is brutally honest with you. She doesn't sugarcoat anything. She's straight up. When Treble interacts with the crew one-on-one, he can bring out the best of them. And when Quaver's around the rest of the crew, she puts up a tough front, but only through progressing in your friendship, much like in real life, does she show her weaker side. Remember, She's 12 after all. The squad, the band, are genuine people. They have their weaknesses and their strengths, and they share it with Beat. Their bonds are what it means to be a band. But once you explore the band, the developers want you to understand the villains. The villains give off a salaryman just trying to do their job. But when you interact with them, they seem to have personal grudges against Beat. Ironically, it's Beat's excessive passion for music. She not only riles up the band, but also the villains. Each villain once had a passion for themselves, but lost it, and now we only see the remnants of what once was. Crest had a passion for his job, but over time it went away. DC doesn't show his passion for anything he cares about, and rather stuffs it away. Poco and Poco don't put any passion into their work. They're equivalent to being zombies. But when they see Beat, it's like they get hungry. They see Beat chowing down on essentially her passion for music, the craft she puts in it, and in turn, they're jealous. In this case, the villains are smelling the food, or I guess hearing it. And when you see someone enjoying their food, everyone else gets hungry too. But Beat's not above them. Beat has started recalling memories of the past. Or rather, she started to accept her old self. She started getting her personality. And that's where our main course meal can begin. Before Beat was whisked away into this new world, Beat was shunned in her past life. It's why we understand why Beat is the way she is. Her obliviousness stems from her denial. Her tendency to avoid problems is because of her past life. No matter how far she runs, it will catch up with her. The villains are parallels to cruel people who harmed Beat in her past life. The band are parallels to people who supported Beat. Beat starting a new life in a new world won't change the past. It won't fix old habits. It's why isekai will never actually work. Unbeatable's ending is more than just freeing the world from its loss of music and its loss of creativity. It's accepting that some people in life won't accept you, and the people who do accept you, you should cherish them. But more importantly, it's important to cherish yourself and what you love, and keep working towards what you love, because you'll never know when it's gone for good. Just be present. But what if I told you that Beat was in a coma when the events of Unbeatable took place? The whole world was made up in her head, like one of those horror stories that float around on Reddit. Ugh. The people Beat cherishes and the people Beat despises are parallels. I stated it before. Quaver is a parallel to younger Beat. Clef is a parallel to Beat's sister. Trouble is a parallel to triple question mark. Rest is a parallel to Beat's mother. Poco and Apoko are parallel to the triple exclamation mark. And Crest is a parallel to the 3 periods. See, Beat is still new to life. And I'm sure most of y'all are so new to life. It's our first time. The thing about life is, when you get used to something, you take it for granted, whether it be music or people. What's important is being present and not taking stuff for granted. Because when you decide to take that step back and hide, 6 months, a year, your life will go by. So surround yourself with people that will build you up. In Beat's old life, she surrounded herself with people who didn't respect her. Their negativity seeped into other aspects of Beat's life. But when Beat surrounded herself by people who built her up and supported her, she quite literally saved the world. Treasure what you value, as long as you don't hurt others. And don't be afraid to try and fail. You can always pick yourself up after, or the people who care about you will. Just stay true to yourself, and be present.
Poco to Poco bad as shit!
Yeah, the girl loves her mommy so much. Mommy is such a fun word, isn't it?